Good evening, class. Welcome to week 6. I hope everybody had a great holiday weekend. I know I did. It was relaxing to be able just to stay at home and not have to worry about work and assignments and things of that nature. So, luckily, we had a good assignment this week with one discussion question. Week 6 gets a little tougher. We've got a discussion post, and we also have 6-2, which is the final project milestone 2, project planning and project execution that we're going to have to address this week. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the discussion. Everybody's doing very well on discussion questions. They're going right through the what and providing the requirements that are necessary to respond to the questions. Grades are great, doing a really good job. Also on the follow-up as on what it's asking you to do. It's everyone is pretty well addressing that very well. So I'm not going to go through a lot of detail on that. We do need to get into 6.2, and we have another case study, the Ecotrans case study, to complete this milestone. So this case study, again, is located end of Module 6, 6.06 to 6.06.4. There's 4 parts to it, so be sure you take in consideration all 4 parts. And again, as we learned from the last case study, there are quite a few things that are missing. So what I'm going to do first is walk through. I'm going to pull over the little guidance presentation, one slide that I've done so far. This milestone is project is worth 150 points. So we're continually building up on these milestones. By the time we get to the final project in week 9, we will have it's worth 350 points. So I was very pleased with milestone 3. Milestone 1 in week 3. Everybody did a great job and followed the process really well and did some fantastic papers that I was very, very energized by what I saw. So thank you for your hard work. Again, like I said, this is an Ecotrans case study in MindEdge, located 6.06.1 through 6.06.4. Again, you're going to have to assume that you're the project manager for this project because there's quite a bit of data missing, and you need to identify the data and what you've added. You can include that basically with an asterisk or something to be able to show that I've added this data. Do not repeat the case study back to me. Use the templates, and I put the word optional in front of it, so make sure that you can use the templates, but if you have something better that you want to use to be able to show the examples associated with these items, you can do that. You can use MS Project, or my favorite now is Smartsheet. I love Smartsheet, and you can do a trial on Smartsheet for free for 30 days, and it will let you create all types of project management schedules and templates and things of that nature. Has some good videos that will direct you, so you might want to look at that. And just Google Smartsheet, and it'll take you right to it. Just recently used it on a project, and the client was very pleased with the collaborations that it provides. Again, stated of the 3 to 4 pages, I believe is what's called here. I think there's 2 resources required, 2 sources required. 1 to 2 paragraphs describing the process like we did last time. Everybody did a great job with that, and include the templates as examples. So you need some way to demonstrate that you have a knowledge of what's going on here with the templates. You don't have to do 2 or 3 pages of templates. You can do 2 lines is fine with me, as long as I can see that you understand what the template, what purpose it serves. So you don't have to go into a lot of detail. Do not use appendix or separate files for submittal. All in one document. Have your template specifically in the section that it's required. If you're doing a section on the project schedule, have your project schedule in that template. And then I will have that video that I included last time about merging templates in the document, how you can go from portrait to landscape real easy in a Word document. Finally, keep your paper well organized with subheaders. I'll provide a template like I did last time. Most everybody used the template and it worked out very well. So we'll keep that in mind going forward. Okay, now I'd like to walk you through the matrix, the same matrix that we did for the last milestone, and talk a little bit about what's required here. This one is going to be a little more difficult because there's not quite as much information available in MindEdge. You're going to have to reach out beyond MindEdge. Let's start with the project planning. It's asking you to determine the business requirements for the successful development of the project, justify your choices. You're not going to find the term business requirements in MindEdge. I can tell you that right now. You're going to have to reach out beyond that and look for what business requirements are. And you'll have to relate it to the case study. So a little tougher on this one, but there's no template. A good paragraph or 2 paragraphs is fine there. Establish who will provide the business requirements, what approach will be used to solicit the requirements from the subject matter experts. So we're looking here specifically for the stakeholders who will provide the requirements in the case study. And then you need to discuss how they solicit the requirements. This is done usually by meetings, groups, interviews, that kind of thing. So you can find that in MindEdge and look for it and write a nice paragraph of how subject matter experts can contribute to provide the business requirements. I do this quite often in determining requirements for projects where I have groups. I do them with WebExes or with and being able to vote. I do a lot of them virtually. And next is categorize and organize the business requirements in a standard requirements template. And I'll give you a template, a very simple template over here. Let me talk a little bit about it and I'll open it up. Here, you're just basically going to take what you've identified up here as the business requirements in section A and put them in this template in section B. So this is a very straightforward template. I can't bring up the template for this particular one, but it will be in your document. Next will be explain why the format for capturing requirements is important to the overall success of the project. Why should we consider requirements traceability? This goes back to that section of in 2 where we talked about requirements traceability. You can explain what why the format for capturing requirements is important. And I think there's a full section in there. You can talk about that. Here again, 1 or 2 paragraphs is fine. Okay, I wanted to go back, open the Part C template. Let me bring it over. And from here, we should be able to get a good picture of what's required here. This is just a simple template for Part C, where you enter the requirements. You can make up a number, the requirements, a description, and basically identify priority, high, medium, or low for that requirement. So you can do some qualifying of how each requirement would fit in the plan. Also, let me go back here now to, we talked about traceability, and there's no template required there. If you want to come up with something, several students in the last assignment had a traceability matrix in there, which is good. I did not include that as an optional template, but if you want to add something, that's fine. Part E is leveraging the business requirements. So you need to translate those requirements into a project schedule. I've just given you something simple here. And again, if you want to use something out of your own library, let me see here. Okay, this is the project schedule template. Let me pull it back here. You can, I can't change that. Let me pull that down. I'll just do it this way. Okay. So this is, you take the milestones and we can just add them in here. Specifically, you may have to make some adjustments here. This is a little out of whack, but show the milestones and how they schedule. If you just want to run bars out here to indicate the start dates and finish dates or approximate time here. Now I've taken this same template and let me close that out. And in part, excuse me, okay. You'll have to excuse me, class. I'm starting and stopping the video in order to get all these templates in here. The next one is part F, which is estimate the duration of the project takes using common business knowledge and assign resources to complete each task. This template is identified there, so you can see specifically that what I've done is just added another couple of columns to the previous template where you can assign duration in days. And then if you want to assign a resource, in other words, a person to that particular area or a group, and then you can assign that resource here in this specific area and just use the same one you did for part E, I believe it was. Yes, part E. Okay, and then we have one more. I'm going to stop the video and pull it over. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. This is part G. I've added one more column, actually two columns here, where we've taken, first of all, we started with, I think, E, and we had just basically the task in there. And then we came back with F, and we assigned resources and duration days. Now with G, where our next is to extend this out using a labor rate per day. If you're using a group of people, maybe it's a consulting group or whatever, or it's one person, and then you estimate the cost here. Again, just keeping the same task that you identified back in E will help you complete this out. So this is really, I need a paragraph before each one of these talking, or just a small paragraph and talk about what the process that you're doing here. So let me stop this one more time. So you can see here now that refining your estimate of the project cost based upon the duration, tasks, and resources needed. So you started with your first project schedule, which just identify the activities. From that, you move to part E here, which would basically talk about this project schedule using this. It says standard project management software, but you can use my templates, or you can use MS Project, or you can use Smartsheet, or any other software that you have that you'd like to use. Get the project schedule set, and then do your estimate on the resources. And then from the resources, go into extending those resources out into a cost in order to understand what the project cost is going to be. Again, you're going to have to be creative here, come up with on your own cost and your own resources and things of that nature. Now for the next three areas under project execution, determine the best implementation approach. You can talk about the waterfall, and you can talk about the based upon the organizational structure, or you can talk about agile. Whichever one you think is more appropriate. You really need to discuss both of them and come up with a recommendation of which one you would use for this particular project right here. Project schedule. You can talk a little bit about resource leveling, fast tracking, or crashing the schedule. What are those processes? And then make a recommendation on which one you would use for this project. If it was off schedule, what would you use to bring it back on schedule? Either one of those three. But please discuss all of those three so you understand what they are. And then finally, the communication approach. We talked about that in our discussion this week. Go through and put together a communication plan, include the frequency, type of communication, and also I provide a template here. I'm going to pull the template over. Template's pretty straightforward, not a whole lot of detail to it other than the fact that I do give it an item number, required time frame, daily, weekly, monthly, communication title, what you're going to be, is it a status report, those kind of things. Team member required to receive the report, and then required method of sharing it, email, text, phone call, whatever it is. Frequency, and then the team member that is responsible to produce the communication. So that's just a basic communication template. I use it in quite a few of my projects. A little more detail depending on the project requirements. So that's pretty much it. It's a little more detail this week. We're in our one more. The following week will include everything we've done so far. Excuse me, that's in week 9. So be thinking about how you want to do that. But this is pretty much our approach for this week. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.